What is up, Packers Nation? My heart rate is not okay at the moment. What a freaking game. That was unbelievable. The Packers pick up a win in Detroit. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Victory Thursday. We get a Luiges Victory Pizza. We get a Thanksgiving pizza. This is a good time to be alive. It's a good time to be a Packers fan. Welcome in, everybody. We are presented on our postgame show by Luiges Pizza. What a win for your Green Bay Packers. I don't even know where to begin to start. What a ballsy game by Green Bay. I want to take you back a year ago when Detroit went into that game and said, we're going for it on fourth down every time. We're bringing it to them and bringing it to them and bringing it to them. And Matt LaFleur came into Detroit today, 1 year later, and says, we're going on fourth down. We're going on fourth down. We're going on fourth down and bringing it to him and bringing it to him. A fourth down touchdown, a fourth down touchdown, and now a huge fourth down conversion to win the game for Green Bay. What a ballsy decision at the end. Jordan Love in the second, even the end of the first half, but second half in this game, had that look. He had that look of, we're not losing this game. We're going to find a way no matter what to win this game. Put the ball in my hands and we're going to make it happen. What a unbelievable play at the end. Oh, I don't want to see Jordan Love throw off his back foot. Get out of here. Back foot throw, fade away for the win. How about those hands for Dontavian Wicks too? What a game from him. 2 touchdowns, clutch catch at the end. Wicks was insane. Some crazy calls in this one on both sides. The timeout, non-timeout, and then, of course, the non-pass interference on Watson that probably should have put the ball away right there. Micah Parsons out of his freaking... You paid 2 players a crap ton of money, Jordan Love and Micah Parsons, for games like this. And both of them came up beyond huge in that game. I'd be remiss not to say 2 things. Number one, it certainly looks bad for Devontae Wyatt. That sucks. That's a huge loss. I will say that Warren Brinson has stepped up and they're going to need him big, but that is a big loss for Green Bay's defensive interior. It looks like that's probably going to be what I would have said. I don't ever want to guess or hypothesize. They ruled him out immediately. My guess is that's probably a season ender for Devontae Wyatt. I always talk about, you got the win. Okay. What did it cost you? It cost them Devontae Wyatt in this game. They should get back Jaden Reed, I would assume, next week. Matthew Golden maybe next week. Maybe Quay Walker next week. They should get back some players, I think. That's going to help. But if they lose Devontae, that's a big player to lose on the interior. Brinson's going to have to step up. Stackhouse is going to have to step up. They might need to get creative too. They're going to probably have to add a defensive tackle. I don't know that James Esther is going to be the player. Don't know what's out there, but we're going to have to take a look at that through the course of this week. Then the other thing, not to get super serious on everyone, but this is a day of Thanksgiving. Jerry Jones, thank you, buddy. Thank you for being a buddy. We appreciate you. We are extra thankful for you on this day of Thanksgiving. Thank you for Micah Parsons. You could have asked for 7 more first-round picks, and it still would have been worth it. What a unbelievable day for him, and super thankful for Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys. 2 wins against Detroit. That was an awesome game. Just that had a playoff feel, big fight feel, Thanksgiving. What more do you want out of football? And I hope all the people too that are always going to say like, oh, Matt LaFleur, that was a unbelievable game from Matt LaFleur, an unbelievable game from Matt LaFleur. But Jordan Love, Micah Parsons, Dontavian Wicks, those 3 big time players in that game. You saw too, like that fourth down play, Jordan's fading. Zach Tom's kind of getting bull rushed into the quarterback. And I'm like, oh God, this isn't going well. This isn't going well. And then you see the fadeaway. Jordan Love's like, hell, somebody's down there somewhere. Go make a play. One of the things that I truly do love about Jordan, that I thought that this is not meant to disparage Aaron in any way, shape, or form, but I thought at times Aaron didn't always give his receivers a chance to go make a play. Kind of always needed to be that perfect look. And more often than not, because Aaron could get them into a perfect look and make that perfect throw and not have to put it in harm's way whatsoever. But I thought if there was a critique to be made at times, it was that, hey, sometimes you need to let your receiver go up and make a play. Jordan does not have that, for better or worse at times, as an issue. He's going to let his receivers go up and make a play. He did. Oh, we get turkey leg fest. Turkey leg fest for Jordan Love. Let's go. 18 of 30, 234, 4 touchdowns, and a game-winning throw to ice the game at the end. We got Jordan. We got Mike up at the table. Packers offensive line is up there too. Nasir Stackhouse. Let's Nasir Stackhouse get a turkey leg. I don't care. I'm on cloud nine, as you guys can probably tell. I was going to get a beer actually before I put on this, and I meant to, and I totally forgot. So I'm just going to cheers you all with my Gatorade Zero, which is far less cool. But happy Thanksgiving. Cheers to you guys. We've got a crap ton to get into. I'm going to be here for as long as we need to be here. Tell you guys don't want to talk anymore. This was from earlier. JLM defensive play calls in the second half. Listen, I know they lost Amon-Ra St. Brown, right? That certainly made things a little easier. They had no Sam Laporta. That's a dangerous Detroit team. Jared Goff is really freaking good. They're going to make your play calls look bad a lot. I thought they battled, meaning Detroit. Every single time Green Bay took that 10-point lead, Detroit had answers for it. This is what it feels like when you're in a big-time fight against a really good team. And I feel like that's what we saw. And at some point, you have to have answers for it. I thought it was huge for Green Bay to hold them to a field goal in that final drive. They got the big fourth down stop. Obviously, Jameson Williams dropping that was a huge part of it too. But this offense had no quitting it all day long. They were ready. They were prepared. They had the look of we're gonna stick it to Detroit, and we're not apologizing to anybody. I love the fourth down play calls. Huge play or huge game for the Packers in this one. They do have Jordan Love's turkey leg this time. They got multiple turkeys. They got everything out there. The only thing they don't have is the Luiges Victory Pizza, which it's disappointing, but it is what it is. They should have some pizza out there, but hell yeah, Micah getting a bite of the leg. No food poisoning, guys. We need you in Chicago or against Chicago in a couple weeks here, a week and a half. But Green Bay gets the week and a half now, gets prepared for the Chicago Bears. But man, what a freaking win that is for Green Bay. RTX Nikki, everyone have a great Thanksgiving. I'm grateful for my Packers. Jordan Love MVP, Micah Defensive Player of the Year. I'm in. RTX Nikki, I'm in. Happy Thanksgiving to you as well. Let's see. All gas, no brakes. Matt LaFleur is back. He was in this game for sure. You know, I saw a lot of people last week of like, well, we know Matt's just going to call the same game against Detroit. Not quite. A little bit of a different mentality when you're going against the Detroit Lions and Jared Goff than when you're going against JJ McCarthy and the Minnesota Vikings. By the way, Green Bay, 2 wins against the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions lost their game against Minnesota and JJ McCarthy most recently. You know who didn't? The Green Bay Packers. I'm done. I said it before. I'm done with the worshiping at the altar of Dan Campbell and like, oh, I wish we had Dan Campbell and his aggressive play calling. Get out of here. Get out of here. Win a couple playoff games, Dan Campbell, and beat Green Bay and all of that stuff. I'm good. I'm good with what Green Bay's got right now. 1-5 versus the NFC North last year. 3-0 so far this year. LFG. It's a huge difference. It's been a huge difference. It's the difference, honestly, between their season right now. If they're even 1-2 in the NFC North, they're in the outside of the playoffs looking in. So they needed it. They needed those 3 wins, but they got this one. This one was massive. Green Bay, by the way, again, goes up to what, a 94% chance to make the playoffs with that win per the New York Times simulator. And to win the division, they are now up to 73% for the New York Times simulator. Just a massive difference. Just a massive difference. I wonder what their odds to get the 1 seed. Up to 6%. It's not nothing. Up to 6%. If they would go undefeated the rest of the way, wow, even if they go undefeated, they're only at a 44% chance to get the number 1 seed. That seems absurd, but whatever. Either way, huge win for Green Bay. We've got, again, a lot to get into. I'll answer all your questions. Andy, I am thankful for you and Packers football. So happy how LaFleur, Love, and Parsons played. Go, Pack, go. It was an epic performance. You want your best players and obviously your coach to step up big in its biggest moments. I thought Love and Mike, Love had a couple misses early, and then he just went into, full on rhythm Jordan Love mode where he wasn't going to let them lose this game. I thought he was tremendous. I thought Micah was tremendous. Big time players win you big time games. Jordan and Micah were that today for sure. And again, I thought Matt called a phenomenal game. Toyotathon is here. Need to get the tattoo. I think everyone needs a Toyotathon tattoo. Oh, a milestone. Wicks literally jumped out of his shoe to catch that last one. Delighted to sweep the Lions. To my U.S. friends, have a wonderful Thanksgiving. And yes, thanks, Jerry, Izzy. Thank you so much for being here. And yes, Wicks, what a unbelievable game for him. Wicks just comes up with these big time performances sometimes out of nowhere. I'm glad he picked today to have one. Again, next week, you could be seeing both Jaden Reed and Matthew Golden back against Chicago, which would be really, really nice. But man, what a day for Dontavian Wicks. And that last one too. That's one of the best DBs in football. We saw Brian Branch have a great game all game long. He is covering him as well as you could cover him. I thought Wicks's move off the line was fantastic, and Branch still was right there with him every step of the way. Even when he goes up and plucks it, Branch is still there to contest that thing, and Wicks came down with it. And you're just hoping the whole way of like, come down with the catch, come down with the catch, come down with the catch. And I'll say it one more time. I love Matt going for it there. There's a little bit of that like fourth down of like, should they be going for it? Should they be going for it? I wanted them to, but you're also like, if they don't get it, this is probably a big problem. But I loved it. They got it in a big time ballsy call from Matt. What a cool play. Wicks out of nowhere, like a Randy Orton RKO. What's not to love? Whereas this is the thing from Wicks is like, you will see him have performances like this. And then you go, where has this been? Why has this not been something that's been happening all season long? I need to check out the bottom of the chat here. Just make sure I'm not glitching again or anything. All right. I think we're good. We had an issue in the early chat today where I was glitching badly. So glad that I'm not having that issue right now. At least doesn't seem so. All right, we've ended with Mirko there. Such a different mentality from last week. Love it. Again, you have the mindset depending on what team you're going against. And you can make an argument absolutely that maybe against Cleveland and Carolina, they didn't have quite this mindset. I'd be willing to bet you if they played Cleveland and Carolina the same way they came out playing Detroit today with that same mindset, maybe both of those games go differently, right? I understand that, but I thought Minnesota, it was 100% the right call to go conservative in that game. JJ McCarthy wasn't beating them. I thought in this game, it was 100% the right call to go aggressive. And credit to the players too. Look at Dan Campbell was ultra aggressive in that game too. He was ultra aggressive as he always is. And it did not pay off for him more often than not. People will be asking about, is Dan Campbell too aggressive and everything like that? Matt LaFleur was aggressive on his side, and it looks great because his players paid it off for him. It's amazing sometimes at how coaching looks better or worse depending on how your players execute out on the field. Today, Wicks comes up with a couple huge fourth down plays. Dobbs comes up with a fourth down play. Love threw 3 perfect balls on those plays, and you look like a genius. And Dan Campbell on the other side making the same aggressive calls looks like an idiot, and everyone's wondering, is he too aggressive? So I loved it. I love the mentality, though. I thought it was the right call, and kudos to the players for paying it off. This feels like our best win this year. Am I wrong here? I think so. Because I mean, the 2 Lions games are the 2 big ones, right? And this one feels more important with what felt like was at stake and knowing that it's on the road too, on Thanksgiving, national televised game. Yeah, I think this was easily their biggest win of the year. I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all, Austin. Thank you guys all for the super chats, by the way. Thank you to the almost 1,000 people, now 1,022 people who are here live in chat. I'm sticking with you guys. We've got a ton to go over. My TV go out here. Why did do we need to get the other game on? Yeah, it's just about time, right? We got Chiefs Cowboys. Let's put that on in the background. The Cowboys without Micah Parsons. Thank you again, Jerry Jones. Now my TV's freaking out. That's okay. We got lots to talk about. Never selling that Wicks stock. Somebody at halftime today was like, because I said Jordan Love's throw was unbelievable to Dontavian Wicks on that play in the first half for the touchdown. And somebody's like, can you just say for once that Dontavian Wicks is like made a good play? I'm like, you must be new here because I don't think anybody has as much Dontavian Wicks stock as I do over the years. So yeah, huge Wicks guy. And he came up huge today. Dylan, 10 Pack a Day podcast memberships. Thank you so much for that, my friend. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. What's the thought of the play calling for offense and defense? Packers on the Lions. Go Pack Go. Happy Thanksgiving to all. I thought the play calling was really good. Listen, I thought early on, we talked about it at the halftime show, but the seam throw to Tom Kennedy on that one play where it was like 3rd and 15, I thought they got a little bit too cute on defense, trying to disguise stuff rather than just kind of marking on a 3rd and long and letting your pass rush get home. Thought that was a little bit too cute. But even the play where, you give the touchdown to Jameson Williams, like the defense is in a perfect position to make that stop. Just a bad play by Carrington Valentine on that particular play. And, I thought in the second half, it did feel like they were struggling to figure out something that could get Jared Goff out of rhythm. They tried blitzing. They tried getting home with 4. Nothing was quite working. I just think Detroit had answers too. I thought offensively, the game plan and the play calling was phenomenal from Matt. I don't know what more you want. That's a 30-plus point performance on the road in Detroit. Based on what I saw on tape a week ago from Green Bay, I didn't know that they had that type of performance in them. I know the Lions defense is struggling a little bit. They saw it, last week, the Giants put up 500-plus yards. But, man, just Unbelievable game, unbelievable fight from both teams. Those are two very good football teams. Awesome for Green Bay to come out on top on that one. Now I'll be in a good, I think we all are. I think we're all going to be in a good mood for Thanksgiving. We get to watch a weekend of football. We get tomorrow the Bears game where we can watch that, a little bit more stress-free. We get the weekend of football. We get to watch it a little bit more stress-free, and then can get ready for Packers Bears next week, which of course we'll have you covered for all week long here on the Pack a Day podcast. Full group of guests next week. Farrington show should be fun. I don't oddly, you're cheering for probably the Vikings against the Seahawks this week, but we'll have Justice on and everyone, and we'll have a lot to talk about for sure. I think you're stuck with just me for tomorrow and Saturday and Sunday, but we'll survive somehow, I promise. M.2, thank you for the super chat. If the Pack doesn't hold Detroit to that field goal, Matt LaFleur doesn't have the confidence to go for it on that last fourth down. Huge. Packers have Hutch figured out. That's an interesting concept. You're probably right, where they probably have to kick that away because a touchdown beats you in that scenario. You probably do have to punt. So yeah, you're probably not wrong at all. Maybe he goes for it, but that's a really gutsy decision to go for it. I wish that they just would have called the pass interference penalty on Christian Watson the drive before. That might have made things a little bit easier. By the way, that illegal contact penalty on Keyshawn Nixon is so mega ass, just so awful. As a referee, you need to understand context and situation. That tight end on that play is on a dummy route. He's not even involved in the play. They're not trying to get a tight end versus Keyshawn Nixon as the play there. The tight end's just running Keyshawn Nixon off. He's not involved in the play. It's not a real route. And the tight end's just kind of going into Nixon. Yes. Does Nixon have some contact on a tight end that's got 40 pounds on him or whatever? Sure. Is there any impeding him from getting where he wants to go or anything like that? Absolutely not. And the juxtaposition between the guy grabbing Watson's hand down on a key third down throw and that where, Nixon's just kind of being physical at the point of that, not even really just there in the way, a little bit of contact or whatever. That's a brutal penalty in that situation and a brutal non-call. I get Green Bay got the timeout thing earlier. That's a 4-point swing. That, there's different aspects of this. I thought, Green Bay had a couple of situations go their way too, but that end game with those two calls is absolutely awful by the NFL officiating there. Outbreaking routes. Yeah, for sure. Another big game for those. And Jordan was pinpoint on him as well. He was fantastic. Matt Thiesing, LE1FM. All right. What an absolute huge win. Losing Wyatt could be huge. Do you think Christian Wilkins could possibly get a look? I honestly, I don't know what to make of the entire Christian Wilkins situation. What I will say is if he was healthy, because there was an injury situation too, right? If he was healthy and capable of being in the NFL right now, one of the 32 teams just has him on the roster, right? So I would be surprised if that's the situation they go with. If all of a sudden we get a tweet this week from Adam Schefter that, hey, by the way, Christian Wilkins is 100% healthy and good to go and is looking for a team. Okay, then you bring him in and have that discussion and see if he'd be a fit in the locker room. But my guess is he's probably not playing again this year, and that's probably more of an offseason thing. So I don't really know what to do with that at the moment, but my guess is if he could play, he'd be on a team right now. Love has been extremely clutch this year. What a game. I'm so glad you brought that up, Kayshawn Motley. He has been absolutely money all season long and in the fourth quarters. I mean, give that guy his flowers. He has been as clutch as it possibly gets time and time and time again, and proved it again in this game. That's an unbelievable Jordan Love performance. Like to have a couple back early in the game. Sure. It's still a 4-touchdown game for Jordan Love. And anytime that it was in his hands with a big time moment, whether it be the fourth down touchdowns or whether it be that play there at the end to Wicks, as money as it gets. And kudos to the receivers too. You got to pay off those plays. Like that's at best 50-50 ball to Dontavian Wicks. And Wicks goes up, high points it, plucks it, strong hands on the way down, doesn't lose control. That's a big time play. And I thought there were other, plays too, where like one of Love's incompletions should have been that pass interference to Watson. Looked like Watson could have maybe made a catch on a couple other ones. There were opportunities there, I think, for Love even to have a better game than this one. Obviously, if he hits Watson on the crosser early and Melton on the sideline play early, I mean, this could have potentially been a 5-touchdown game, but man, we're not picking nits at Jordan Love today. He was a big-time player in this game, got them the win. Dontavian bleeping Wicks. How about Big Balls LaFleur? My favorite game this year. It's just an awesome game. There's no two ways around it. It's as fun as it gets. That's what the NFL is about. That's what football's about. On Thanksgiving, big fight feel, and Green Bay gets the win. I tell you guys all year long, like, it's going to ebb and flow, right? Don't try to get too high. Don't try to get too low. Well, screw that today. You can be as high as you want today. That's as fun of a win as you get. But obviously, job not done. You've got another big NFC North game coming up in a week. You've got to get ready for the Bears. You do lose likely Devontae Wyatt for the season in this one, if I had to guess. Again, don't want to put anything out there in the ether, but we're just using common sense here. It certainly looks like it's probably a bad, diagnosis for Wyatt, but a lot of season left, but they've put themselves in a position. And by the way, if Chicago does lose tomorrow to Philadelphia, Green Bay would be at first place in the NFC North going into that matchup with Chicago in a little bit over a week. PJ Wynn coming in hot with the $50 super chat. Happy Thanksgiving, Andy. Jordan and Micah are it. They certainly are. PJ, I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving as well. And thank you so much for the kind gesture. Really appreciate you, my friend. Coach Cojones. I thought it said coaches for a second. Cojones. Nothing more to say besides happy pizza day. Mirko, thank you so much, my friend. I will be celebrating in earnest. I promise you. I want to live on this high forever. Tyler, me too. That's what makes football fun. That's what makes football fun. Yeah, I get that it's frustrating, the games against the Panthers and the Browns or whatever, but the lows sometimes are low, the highs sometimes are high. And, sometimes the journey, brings you on these situations where it frustrates you one week and then you get jubilation the next. Now you just get ready for Chicago and hope they can stack success and pick up a big win at home in Green Bay next week. They're going to need the rest. They really are. That's a tough game. That's an very intense game that you fight for 4 quarters in. Nothing's easy in that game. They're going to need the extra rest. It gives them a little bit of a mini bye to go into the remainder of the season, but they've got a tough schedule too. 2 against Chicago, games against Denver and Baltimore. Those next 4 games are going to be very quality opponents as well. Nothing's going to be easy over the next month. Nothing's going to be easy. The Minnesota game at the end, that could be an exhibition game for Minnesota. You would assume it would be. I can't imagine that Minnesota's fighting for anything in that game. That's one that you have the potential to hopefully have an easier game, but these next 4 are going to be extremely, extremely tough. Dennis, thank you for the super chat. Our run game is starting to show signs of life. Feels like they are figuring it out and getting better. I thought so too. And that's a pretty good defensive front for Detroit. I thought Jacobs ran well. I thought he ran hard. Wilson, when had the opportunity. And then, how about, by the way, but this is just a timeout on Dennis's comment. How about the recovery by Rasheed Walker? Can we talk about that being a play of the game? That's a complete game changer in that moment as well. That could have completely flipped this game on its head. So kudos to Rasheed for that one. But I did feel like there was a little bit better blocking. I do think Belton was the right way to go. As far as I could tell, he played every snap at right guard. I did not see Jordan Morgan. That was the right decision, in my opinion. I know I had Belton graded poorly in this last one. I also had Morgan graded poorly, but you can tell there's just a little bit more there with Belton, and the upside is higher. I would continue to go with Belton at that spot moving forward as well. It looked like he played a lot better today too. If that is season ending for Wyatt, I think it's, we talked about the Christian Wilkins thing. I don't think that, again, he's probably in a position to play. Goody should look into everything for sure, but I don't think that that's probably going to end up being the answer. And again, I think if he could play, he'd be on one of the 32 teams right now. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. Some of those throws are absolutely filthy. He had one of those games today. Just feeling it in the zone. There's nothing more to say about it. He was clutch. He was money. He did everything he could to keep Green Bay consistent. That was end of 2023, Jordan. If you guys remember, end of 2023, Jordan was at the point where every single time the ball left his hand and the camera panned downfield, you just knew something good was going to happen. It was just like, oh, ball's out. Who's down there? Who's going to catch this one? This game had that feel. And maybe sometimes, again, the receiver could have come up with it and they didn't, but every single time he unleashed one. By the way, his best deep ball of the year to Christian Watson, that was an absolute dime. Just a gorgeous game. Gorgeous game from Jordan. Big time throws all throughout the course of the game. You'll have to ask him. You'll have to ask him if he still wants Matt LaFleur fired. There's probably somebody out there that still does, right? There's somebody mad about something still. That's just how this thing goes, but that was a great game from Matt. Done. Drop Tavian is now, he's had a great season. I'm really happy for him. Really, really happy for him. That was a big time performance today. On that the drive where he caught the second touchdown, said to a friend of mine, I'm like, This is going to be another Dontavian Wicks touchdown. Let's get him another a second touchdown, and boom, nailed it. Got a second one, and then what a catch at the end for him. Sergeant Danielson, thank you for the super chat. Love was as close to perfect as possible with 2 ducks in the ground, and Tay was a beast this game. Half was slow on the defense in the second half again. Wish he would adjust better. Go Pack, go. Again, I am willing to give the Lions offense some credit as well. I thought they played a really good second half. I'll have to go back and watch the film, if I'm being honest, of what this looks like, in a little bit greater detail. I thought there were times where the defense was in good positions and they just didn't make plays. I thought they were a little bit stuck where Micah, if Micah couldn't get home, I thought the rest of the defensive line kind of had to struggle again getting home. They're going to have to pick it up again, especially with Devontae Wyatt out. Guys like Colby Wooden and, Warren Brinson, or, Carl Brooks, when he gets back, are going to have to step up huge. Hopefully they can get LVN back. An LVN return would be really big for that pass rush, especially with Wyatt out. I think you want him to probably play that 3 technique a little bit more especially when Wyatt's not out there on some obvious passing downs. But yeah, did Dak just throw a pick? He certainly did. He threw that right to the Chiefs defender. Not a great start for Dallas after having to watch Micah Parsons tear it up in the first game. Sergeant Dan gifted 5 Pack-A-Day memberships. Thank you so much for that. Appreciate you, my friend. Or Danielson, I should say. Luigi's in the oven already. Let's freaking go. Again, shout out to Luigi's for sponsoring today's show. We are again live here on the Luigi's Postgame Show, talking all things Green Bay Packers. Thank you to the 1,300 of you who are here in chat. It was nice running into you. Oh, that was you at Station 1 last night. Jacob, thanks for saying hello. Appreciate that. And hope you had a fun night. I know we did as well. And even better day today, celebrating with Luiges Pizza for sure. Can beat anyone when they are this locked in. Go Pack, go. That's a touchdown for Rashee Rice as well. Yes, if Green Bay plays like that, they absolutely can beat anybody. That's not a team that teams want to see come playoff or postseason time. They've got Mike on one side, they've got Jordan on the other. They should get some reinforcements with Quay Walker, with LVN, Carl Brooks on defense. I know they're going to lose Wyatt. It's an interesting trade. You're out Walker, LVN, and Brooks, and you would probably trade, as it's sucky as it is, you would probably say, yeah, I would trade, Devontae Wyatt for LVN, Brooks, and Quay. That's probably a good trade. And they won this game without those 3. You get those 3 back, you lose Devontae. That's just the course of an NFL season. Some next guy up, couple guys down, you shuffle through everything, but certainly a big loss for Green Bay with Wyatt, no question about it. And then should get reinforcements on offense too. Jaden Reed and Matthew Golden should be able to help out this team a ton when they get back as well. So hopefully that can help offset some of the loss that will be there for, with Devontae Wyatt being out for probably the rest of the season. Juan, thank you for the super chat. You have to get throughout the highs and lows to get to a late November, February, play 13-9, 87-11, and let 83-0. I'm assuming you mean like fight it out. I still want to see more Golden, but I don't think you need to see a ton of Williams or, Heath or any of those, or even Melton at wide receiver. Once everyone's healthy, it should be pretty much a 5-man wide receiver rotation with Wicks, Watson, Dobbs, Reed, and Golden as your primary 5. This team has fight, and J Love Toyotathon continues. It's a beautiful thing. It's a very beautiful thing. Per se, Wilkins isn't healthy, then run what we got. Probably. Your hope is that you can get LVN back. Brinson's been playing pretty well. It probably ends up being, a situation where Wooden and Brooks are your starters. You're going to need more from Brooks. Brooks is kind of like Devontae Light is how I would kind of define him. He is a similar player that just kind of does everything a little bit worse than Devontae. No disrespect to Carl Brooks, but that's kind of where he's at, within Brinson and Stackhouse being your next 2 guys up. Brinson's been playing good football as well, so that helps. That'll help offset it a little bit. And then hopefully if you can get LVN back, he can kick inside on the obvious passing downs and help offset the loss of not having Wyatt out there as well. I don't know what else you would do at this point. It's not like you can just find a good defensive tackle out there available right now. So I'd have to look, see if there's anything on like a practice squad somewhere that would make any sense. But my guess is they had somebody, whether that's Esther from their own practice squad or whether they poach somebody from a different practice squad. They'll be active looking. I would certainly assume that. Haven't given memberships in a while. Hey, appreciate you doing it today, though. It's a good day on Thanksgiving and after a Packers win. Drive summary, field goal, punt, touchdown, end of half, touchdown, punt, end of game. Feels like Packer football again. Happy Thanksgiving. Actually feels like they did better than that. I know I guess there's 4 touchdowns basically in a row there. That's probably important. And the punt was really due to a poor missed pass interference call. So yeah, that's a pretty damn good performance from Green Bay's offense. And the end of game was really them getting in, position for scoring that they would have been able to score on that drive if they needed to. They thankfully were just able to run out the clock instead. Can we give dude, I've been giving 33 as much love as I can possibly give him. He's outstanding. He is a Pro Bowl caliber safety. He really, truly is. He is playing outside. I love that they called it on the game of how Brady showed him like 25 snaps of Evan Williams doing exactly that. I've been saying over and over, this guy is around the football on every play. Sometimes it doesn't work out because he's around the football so much. Other guys are going to make plays too, but he is an outstanding safety. And Green Bay is very, very lucky to have him. Well, talk about the right player, by the way, to take over from that Aaron Jones number 33. Evan Williams, can't imagine a better player to take on that crown of the 33 jersey. I've said it before and I will say it again. Thank you, Jerry. 12.5 sacks by Thanksgiving is crazy. What's the Packers record for sacks in a season? I don't know. Tim Harris had 19.5 in 1989. I think like in the back of my mind, I knew that, but it's one of those stats that just shocks you every single time. So at 12.5 right now, Micah's tied with Zadarius Smith in 2020 for 14th on the all-time Packers list with 12.5. At 11th is Tony Bennett, Clay Matthews, and Reggie White with 13. Tied for 5th with 13.5 is Tony Bennett, Kabir, Tim Harris, Clay Matthews, and Zadarius Smith. In fourth at 14.5 is Ezra Johnson. In third with 15.5 is Aaron Campman. In second with 16 is Reggie White in 1998. And in first was Tim Harris with 19.5 in 1989. So he's got some work to do still to get that record. So we have 5 games left. He's at 12.5. He needs 7. So he needs 7 sacks in 5 games, 7.5 in 5 games. He needs to get to 20 to really break the all-time record. It's doable the way he's playing right now. Yeah, can we make Toyotathon longer? That seems to be what should be. Mark Murphy spent a lot of time trying to get the tush push banned. Should have been trying to ban special teams and get Toyotathon longer. Those Ed Policy, buddy, Toyotathon, make it longer. There's got to be enough money in the bank to pay Toyota to make Toyotathon longer. This isn't hard. Come on, Ed Policy, and let's ban special teams as well while we're at it. That's also would be good for Green Bay. We are so back. Swept the Lions. Go Pack Go. Super Bowl is ours. I love it. I love it, Beast Bumblebee. I love the enthusiasm. With another loss next week, the Lions might be out of the playoffs before Ragnow even comes back. Crazy how fast the season goes. How about that O-line? Who does Detroit have next week? Out of curiosity. Detroit next week. Oh, it's the Cowboys on Thursday. So they got Thursday football right away against this Cowboys team. Detroit should win that, but yeah, loss for Detroit would be pretty catastrophic in that game. No question about it. Packers currently still in the 6th seed, by the way, as of right now. With a Bears loss, they would get to the 3rd seed and nothing above that. They couldn't get higher than the 3rd this week. Because if the Bears lose, it means the Eagles win. And the Rams can only get to 9-3. So number 3 seed if Chicago loses this week, by the way. They'll stay the 6th seed if Chicago wins. No, I lied. They would go to the 5. Nope. No, they would say the 6th seed. They would say the 6th seed. My apologies. All right. Happy Thanksgiving, Andy. We are thankful for your show. Go Pack Go, Guitar for Life. Thank you so much for that. Appreciate it, my friend. Appreciate all the kind words today and the super chats. Saying how much cleaner they looked on offense. Yeah. NFL's weird, guys. NFL's weird. Sometimes your offense looks like an absolute juggernaut. Other times it looks like it's stuck in mud. Teams have good defensive game plans. Different things happen in each different game. Some players play well. Some players don't. They look fantastic today. I talked about before the game, I thought this was going to be more of a low-scoring affair. I would have taken the under, which is why I told you, by the way, in my pregame show to always listen to the opposite of me when it comes to that type of advice. But I thought this was going to be more of a drag it out brawl, and it was not. These offenses were prepared. I thought the defenses had the advantage. They definitely did not. All right. Esoteric. I'm happy Musgrave was able to make a great play this game. Hopefully he can build his confidence a bit. If not with the pack, he can show other teams he can play for next year. Yeah, that was a big play by him. I thought, again, we talked about it at the halftime show, and I talked about it in the last couple of weeks, where you want to get Musgrave involved as deep crossers and sort of like verticals up the field. You want to be able to have him utilize his speed. That's kind of his superpower, right? And I thought that was a good play on a deep over route to get him that deep crosser. And then he made a great play on it. I love the confidence Jordan had too. He had his backdrop and immediately read that and made the throw. It's a tightly contested play, and Musgrave went and made it. I love that play from Luke. Big time play from him. we don't need to do fly Eagles fly necessarily. We just want the Bears to fail. We don't necessarily want the Eagles to do well, but we definitely want the Bears to fail tomorrow. I spoke with 33 at training camp and said, let's go get a Pro Bowl spot in your second year. And he said he wanted AP. He yelled it all the way back to the locker room, way to secret the blank out of your destiny, Evan. Yeah, either way, he's playing amazing. And we're thankful for him too, of him coming on right around draft time, right? He was on here on Pack a Day with me. That was an awesome conversation with Evan. He's a joy to watch. He's a joy to watch out on the field, and I'm super happy that he is a Green Bay Packer. No questions about it. All right, let's get to yes, Jen. No fire Matt LaFleur calls this week. I'm all in. Sign me up. I don't know. Morgan didn't start the game. It was definitely Belton who started the game. Finally, an all gas, no breaks game. Congrats to Wicks on a big game. Absolutely. He was fantastic. Go Pack, go. Happy Thanksgiving to you all. I'm praying for Devontae Wyatt. Yeah, it's a tough scene for Devontae. Hopefully he can bounce back. It's probably going to be next year, but either way, certainly, hoping for a quick recovery from him. No question. I'm going to enjoy this way too much, especially because the game-winning catch was on Brian Branch. Yeah, that was sweet. That was absolutely sweet. Brian Branch was awesome in that game, by the way. He was phenomenal. Had great coverage on that play, but what a way to beat one of the best in the game on that final play. Huge play for Wicks. So they had the starting graphic wrong. That makes sense. But yeah, it was definitely Belton. Packers had a lot of underachieving players step up. Enigbari, Wicks, Musgrave. Yeah, I don't know if I would say that Wicks was underachieving, but he had a great game. Enigbari, I need to go back and look at closer, and Musgrave had the one big play. But yeah, it'll be really interesting to kind of grade this one this week for sure. What do we have? It felt like there were a lot of plays in this one. Oh, 60-60 even. That's actually not many at all. Nice. That's awesome for me too. That's about as good as it gets. A 60-60 even split. Both teams had 60. So Lions had 2 more first downs. They had the exact same amount of plays. The Packers had 7 more yards in this game. Packers had 6 yards per play. Lions had 5.9. Packers had 234 passing yards. Lions had 233. Packers had 125 rushing yards. Lions had 119. Green Bay was 2 for 2 in the red zone. Lions were 2 for 3. Penalties, the Packers had 20 penalty yards. The Lions had 22. Guys, neither team had a turnover. Obviously, the turnover on downs. Third down efficiency, Green Bay was 6 of 12. Lions were 8 of 13. The one stat, the one differentiator in this game, it's literally all there is. Fourth down efficiency. This is all fourth down efficiency. Green Bay was 3 for 3 on fourth down. Lions were 0 for 2. That's it. That's the entire game. You want to talk about, game of inches and how, the entire game is like a razor thin margin. That's all it is. Everything else was almost completely identical in this game. Like almost entirely identical, save for fourth down. 3 for 3 for Green Bay, 0 for 2 for Detroit. Those were 2 insanely evenly matched teams. And that's what it comes down to. That's what it comes down to. Is Howard Green available? I'm sure he is. I don't think that's who you want, but I'm sure he is available. By the way, like a couple months ago, Mike Pennell got cut and the Chiefs signed him. He would have been a nice pickup for Green Bay. I don't know. Top available free agents. Oh, that's not what I want. That's not what I want either. All right. Do we have, well, Christian Wilkins is on there again. I don't think he can play. Armand Watts, Maurice Hurst. Maurice Hurst is actually kind of interesting. I don't know where he's at from a physical conditioning standpoint, but Maurice Hurst would actually be kind of an interesting pickup. That's about it. Oh, is Montravius Adams still out there? Yeah, Montravius Adams is out there too, former Packer. He played some decent football more towards the end of his career, but I would probably bring in Montravius Adams and Maurice Hurst as like at least tryout guys. Looking through practice squads too. Let's see. Oh, okay. This is going to sound really crazy. None of you are going to know who this is. San Francisco 49ers defensive tackle, Evan Anderson. That would be a player to really keep an eye on from a practice squad standpoint. He actually played some really good football last year. They went out and drafted a bunch of defensive tackles, so he ended up not making the team. He would be somebody that I would take a real look at. Ooh, touchdown Cowboys. That is Dez. But Evan Anderson from the 49ers would be on my list. Trying to see if there's anybody else that makes any potential sense for Green Bay on this defensive tackle list. I'm looking at practice squads now to see defensive tackles. Not seeing a ton so far. Zach Pickens, the former Bears, like what, third or fourth round defensive tackle. He's sitting on Kansas City's practice squad. Chris Wormley has been an interesting player. He's on the Colts practice squad. He could be maybe an option. Yeah, I'll have to look at this maybe a little bit more later. This probably doesn't make for great post-game podcasting. I'm more just interested at this point. Gabe Hall is an undrafted free agent for the Eagles last year. He's okay. Yeah, not a ton out there on opposing practice squads. I'll check it out a little bit later, a little bit more. At the top of my mind, though, Evan Anderson, 49ers defensive tackle, practice squad player. That, or again, looking at Maurice Hurst, maybe the former Cleveland Brown defensive tackle. Those would be two players that I would maybe take a look at if I were Green Bay. Yeah, I'm just looking through. I don't see much else for defensive tackles. The other one that's a bummer is who's that dude that just got was it? It's not Kalal Sanders. What is the name? I don't know, but he was just cut a couple weeks ago, and I think the Jets signed him. I can't think of his name. Oh, Kalen Saunders. Kalen Saunders is what I was thinking of. He just got cut a couple weeks ago, and the Jets signed him. The Jets are worthless, so it sucks that he went to the Jets. If he would have waited a little bit longer, maybe Green Bay would have wanted to pick him up. But yeah, probably not great pickings on the defensive tackle line right now. The Secret is a woman's self-help book to speak it in man. Oh, gosh, I did not know that. Thank you. The more you know, I guess. I was unaware. Time for BJ Raji to finally come out of retirement. How old is BJ Raji, by the way? I know you're being facetious, but 39 years. Wow, BJ Raji's already 39 years old. Man, time flies. That's crazy. Did Matt LaFleur and Dan Campbell switch brains? No, see, here's the thing. Dan Campbell was super aggressive still in this game. They were, 0 for 2 on fourth down. Matt, they did have a lot of those like third down runs though that I know Detroit fans were not super happy about. So yeah, but I thought again Dan Campbell was very aggressive overall, but Matt was ultra aggressive in this one, and I absolutely loved every second of it. Andy, we don't agree on everything, all right, but I'm grateful for you. You've made my Packers experience 10 times better. Never have to agree with me on everything. No problem whatsoever there. Again, sometimes disagreement is best. That can make for good conversation. Is Gilbert Brown available? I don't, well, again, he's probably is. That's probably, again, not the direction you want to go in. Love a good grave digger, though. All right. Oops, that's not what I wanted at all. All right, let's get to our sleeper picks for this one. Okay, we've got Monday Night Football. Stephon Diggs, Travion Henderson, and Jackson Dart. Stephon Diggs, more than 47.5 receiving yards. Travion Henderson, more than 69.5 rushing yards. Jackson Dart, more than 207.5 passing yards. The best part is that you can get 100% match up to $100 by utilizing code PACKADAY. Again, a 100% match up to $100 by utilizing code PACKADAY. Check Sleeper for details. Terms and conditions apply. Also, they're available in over 25 states nationwide. So if you haven't got your sleeper picks in today, what are you waiting for? Still can get them in for this game as well as the game tonight. We've got all day Sunday. We've got Monday Night Football, and it's always going to be a little bit sweeter, A, with Sleeper, but B, coming off a Packers win as well. Huge shout out to Sleeper for their partnership with us on today's show. They're always coming through clutch for us. All right. Back to our comments here. Bring Mike Daniels back. Johnny Jolly. Love the suggestions. Love it. Bring everyone back. No word on Brenton Cox, John Williams. My assumption is John Williams is out for the year. It seems like Colin Oliver might be trending in that direction as well. No update on Brenton Cox either. So nope. Unfortunately, no word on any of them. That was a sweet win for Matt LaFleur. Can honestly say that Matt LaFleur put on his big boy pants for this game. Parsons Shine, Love caught up and played extremely well. Yes, he did. Yeah, the stats were insanely close. Yeah, the Cooper injury too, there was certainly a lot of concern there. But yeah, thankfully he was okay and able to come back. I thought Belton looked good at first glance, but definitely going to want to take a closer look at the All-22 this week. Yeah, definitely going to want to take a closer look at that. The Gravedigger is definitely a bit long in the tooth. All right, friends. Any other questions that you guys want to get to? 33 might get more. Well, 33 is arguably played a little bit better than X. X has played well, but I would argue that Williams has actually been a little bit better than him this year. Yeah, that's a good point on the Tim Harris sacks too, that he did that during a 16-game season. Yeah, Tim Harris was really good that year. No question. All right, what else we got here? Yeah, I didn't get to watch. Danielle, I'm assuming you're talking about my halftime show, the Luiges Pizza halftime show is what I'm assuming you're talking about. The NFL called me for the Super Bowl halftime show, but I said I'll probably be busy doing a live show. So, but no, it sounded like Detroit had an awesome one with Eminem there as well. My only gripe with the last drive, it's 4-down territory, run it on 3rd down, take 40 seconds off the clock and go on 4th. Maybe, but I feel like what Matt was doing in that situation is saying, we just need to get one of these 2 passes. Like Jordan just needs to complete 50% of them and we win. And honestly, Jordan's, we've been asking all season, put the ball in Jordan's hands, put the ball in Jordan's hands, give it, let him cook, let him do the thing. And he did. And quite frankly, that should have been a completion on 3rd down too. Like Watson was in a position to make that catch and Jordan got them there. And then he gave him another chance on 4th and Wicks went and made the play on that one. So I love it. I have no issue with it whatsoever. And to me, again, he let Jordan decide that game. And that's what I would have wanted. That's what it needed to be. So he got Jordan 2 looks at it. Jordan did great on both. And thankfully, Wicks paid off the one in the end. I love the 4th and 3. I have to look back at the call and see what they were trying to do in that particular play. But again, this is the thing of putting it in Jordan's hands is even if the play's not right, Jordan can find a way to make it right. And he's gonna put his receivers in a position to succeed. Matt LaFleur and Devontae Wyatt, it doesn't look good. I'm sick for him. That's a critical loss for our defense. And called the win bittersweet because of it. So yeah, it definitely looks like a season ender for Devontae, which sucks. Absolutely sucks. It sounds like Amon-Ra St. Brown out 1 to 2 weeks. So he's likely going to miss that Cowboys game next week in what really amounts to a must win for Detroit. I thought, by the way, just as like kind of a juxtaposition of games, I thought last week the Indianapolis Colts had the potential to put the dagger in the Kansas City Chiefs and they blew it. They didn't do it. And the Chiefs fought back and won the game. And now the Chiefs are right back in this thing. We'll see if they win today against Dallas and where their season ends. But felt like the Colts had the opportunity to put the dagger in. This isn't the dagger yet on on Detroit, but it certainly makes things a lot tougher for Detroit. I'm curious the Lions playoff tracker. Yeah, the Lions are at 58% to make the playoffs the rest of the way. So it's a 50-50 chance. They've got games coming up against the Cowboys, the Rams, the Steelers. They get a reprieve against the Vikings and then have the Bears. So these next 2 weeks, Cowboys and Rams, even Steelers, those 3 games are going to be huge for Detroit. So yeah, going to be interesting. Going to be very interesting. All right. I love that Belton is always looking for some work. Dude plays the right way. I totally agree. Totally agree. Andy, this was it. I'm so glad the Packers showed out. They really did. I thought it looked good, but again, I want to watch this a little bit closer on the all 22 this week before I jump to any conclusions. He really is unreal under pressure. Just nothing phases him, and he keeps battling throughout the entirety of the play. Oh, Coke Zero is coping really hard. Let's hear it for Coke Zero. I'm sorry, buddy. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay, Coke Zero. Coke Zorro. Packers got lucky again. Fraud's last catch wasn't even a catch. That's why they cut away from the replay. Oh, you going to be okay, buddy? It's going to be okay. It really is. There's always next year, Coke Zorro. Always next year. Very much glad he threw the ball twice as well. I'm actually really looking forward to Bad Bunny. I bet Bad Bunny puts on an awesome show. I really do. I think he's going to kill it. Love is cold-blooded. No other way to put it. Pookie is an assassin. Pookie of the year is what we're going with for sure. Yeah, it looked like broken ankle, which by the way is better than like a ligament thing. We'll see if he has ligament stuff as well. But if it's a clean break, that's certainly better than torn ACL or something like that. So I would actually kind of be relieved a little bit if it was, I don't want to say just a broken ankle, because that actually will heal quicker and cleaner than any sort of ligament damage. All right. Anything else you guys want to go through? I'm sure we missed a bunch of questions early, but no gripes. Big division win on the road against a good team. Musgrave came up with a big catch. Yes, Wicks did lose his shoe before that play, which is crazy. Gary just needs to bull rush a little bit more. Yep, speed to power is what you want to see from Rashawn. That's the big thing. Yeah, I need to watch Gary closer on this one to get a better feel for how he played. I know the one play he didn't set the edge and Gibbs got to the outside, but to be fair, Parsons had that happen once too. Yeah, Parsons was amazing, as was Wicks. Packers played a complete game. Now let's keep rolling. I mean, the crazy thing is, Big Al, is that either Big Al or By Gal, one of the two. Slight difference. I thought the big thing is that Green Bay actually left some things on the field that could have even been better, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. But that's the NFL. It's never going to be perfect. But the crazy thing is I think they could have even had better production in this one. Travis Kelce touchdown. I'm going to need that for fantasy because I had Amon-Ra St. Brown and he went down very early in that game. I need to look at it closer. There was a lot of zone defense. So, the play by Nixon where that's not on Nixon. I thought the underneath stuff from the linebackers was really shaky. So I need to go back and watch this closer. Obviously the big play by Valentine was a brutal play by Valentine, but I thought for the most part, he played well the rest of the game, but I need to go back and watch this one a little bit closer and get a better feel for how the corners actually did in this game. Great game. Well called, well played on that fourth quarter last drive. If Matt LaFleur knew he was going to go for it on fourth down, then we should have run it. We talked about this, Sean's. Here's what I'm going to always talk about when it comes to a play calling standpoint, right? He put his players in a position to succeed on that third down. That should have been a catch by Watson. So I have no issue with that. And then he put him in a position to succeed on fourth down as well. And they went out and executed. And Wicks, it's a tough play. In fact, maybe not the best play call in that situation, but Love and Wicks were able to make it right. But I think at the end of the day, what I love is that, again, we've been calling for put it in Jordan's hands, put it in Jordan's hands, put it in Jordan's hands. And in 2 consecutive plays, he said, Jordan, go win us the game. We need 3 yards. I'm giving it to you. You've got 2 plays, go win it. And he did. I don't care about the clock. The clock doesn't matter if you convert. All that matters at the end of the day is on those 2 plays if you convert it. And then you still have some outs, obviously, if you don't convert it. If your defense can get off the field, you win. Or even if you allow a touchdown, there might be time left. Maybe you can get a field goal before the end of the game, or you can go to overtime and have a chance to win there too. You've got a lot of outs in that situation, but I love putting it in Jordan's hands twice. I have no issue with that whatsoever. Yeah, he really, well, which one are we talking about? Jameson, who is extremely fast on the other team, but I thought Evan Williams played very fast in this game too. It felt like we missed Quay. I thought there was some good stuff from McDuffie. I thought there was some not so great stuff from McDuffie. But again, we'll want to look at it a little bit closer to kind of get a better feel for it. Kyle with the new membership. Thank you so much, Kyle. Love the 33 jersey there as well. Yeah, again, that's a good offense in Detroit. I would have liked to have seen him tighten up a little bit more. If Carrington just makes the tackle, it probably feels a whole hell of a lot different, if we're being honest. But some things that they can do better, for sure. Jordan Love is still doing the weird handoff to the running back and just wait until we get our full arsenal of weapons. I meant to look at it. I didn't look at that close enough today. I thought there were times where he's handing off normal, but maybe it was just normal right-handed handoffs. But I'll have to take a look at that closer as well. All right, friends. I do think I'm going to call it here. I appreciate all the questions in the super chats. I'll be back tomorrow morning to break this all down. I'll rewatch the game, do everything that I can to get you guys all the information you need all throughout the course of this week. Should be a fun week. Should be a very fun week breaking it all down. Like I said, we'll have our normal guests on all week next week. Tomorrow's show will be fun breaking this down in its entirety. I hope you guys all have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Thank you for all your generosity. Thank you for making the show what it is. Certainly would not be in this position and doing this the way that I am without all of you guys. So hope you have a safe and happy holiday. We'll see you guys all very, very soon. As I mentioned, tomorrow morning for the full recap and breakdown. But until next time, and as always, especially on Thanksgiving, especially after a win, go Pack Go.